Men, it's like our sergeant told us before one trip into the jungle. Men, 50 of you leaving on a mission. 25 of you ain't coming back. Station, everybody. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to PCP Movie Night. It's been a couple weeks since we've done this, so welcome back. The movie of the week, of course, is Dazed and Confused. We are very near the celebrated holiday of 420, so we're talking about one of our favorite stoner movies, as a lot of people like to call it. And yeah, it's got that, but it goes well beyond that. One of my absolute favorite movies, straight up. So Station One and all, welcome in the chat, and welcome to Jelani. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Station? And doing pretty good, man. I'm doing all right. All right.
All right.
Yeah, man, we're gonna probably be doing this for a while because it's such a fun film. So I'm just glad to be here and talk about it.
No, man, I can't tell it, even just the amount of times we've all watched it together.
Yeah,
you know,
it's insane.
But one person we've never chatted with about this movie is Perry. It's Perry from Perry Comics. What's up, my man?
How's it going, man? Station, everybody.
Station.
Station.
How y'all doing?
We're doing all right. All right. And now Brooks is going to be really pissed that we stole that bit, but there we go. What's up, Brooks?
I knew that was getting snatched up, man. That's going to get beaten to the ground tonight.
Yeah, it really is. So this movie came out in 1993. It's Richard Linklater's second film. He started on the indie scene the year before. He had done that movie Slacker, which I think it's all right. You know, it's a little kind of just whatever. It just follows this dude around, right? But Dazed and Confused was the 90s, the early 90s in particular, and we remember this. It was a really weird time where like studios were making indie type movies, and this kind of fit right in there. So they were looking for the newest indie director, Richard Linklater. He had this idea, the script, he wanted to do American Graffiti for the 70s, right? That's what he wanted to do. The story is about a group of high schoolers in 1976. They just graduated, or they just had the last day of school, their junior year. So now they're seniors, and it's about the incoming class of freshmen. So it's coming of age, but it's just a day in the life. It's a nice slice of life. And that's what Richard Linklater does. He's got amazing dialogue in his films. And this one in particular, I think, is by far one of his strongest films. I love this film. I love it every time I watch it. I've seen this movie so many times. I can't even tell. He's literally probably been hundreds of times I've seen this movie. If it's just on, I will watch it from any point going forward. I know all the lines. I love the soundtrack. I love every freaking thing about this. All these amazing performances in this movie, and they were all unheard of at the time. All of these actors, Jason London, Ben Affleck, Joey Lauren Adams, Parker Posey, like everybody in this movie wound up being a big deal throughout the 90s, right? And this was their first, they're basically the first gig. Matthew McConaughey, this is his first film role. Like, that's crazy. And apparently the character Wooderson had like the tiniest little role, but Matthew McConaughey himself just brought so much to it that they kept making more for it. So overall, what do you think about the film and your experience watching it? Jelani?
Yeah, man, I agree with you 100%. This film is fantastic. I love every aspect of it. It's a great slice of life film. It's like how it would feel to be at a high school in 1976 in Texas. And it's a big football town. So they pride themselves on football. They pride themselves on hazing. Yeah, not at all. Yeah. And I didn't notice this the first time I've seen this, that they went to Lee High School. The Fighting Rebels, but
not only are they at Lee High School. Me and Jelani graduated from Lee High School, by the way, Perry. Not only is it Lee High School, that high school looks just like Lee High School.
Yeah,
like it literally looks like it.
It's insane. I was like, wow, high school. It brought me back. Like, they've torn down that high school. It's a brand new building now. But man, the old one, it takes me back. I mean, the same colors and everything. And the cast is fantastic. I love the soundtrack. I love just the scenes, just certain lines, and pretty much everything. I think every cast member in this movie gets a chance to shine. And like, they get their own moments, and it's like, and it's all within a day. So it's a day and a night of how these high schoolers are dealing with everything and the pressures of life and transitioning. I know we're going to get to our themes, but it is a transition of life from one stage to another. You just go from middle school to high school, get your butt beat or hazed, and other people are just trying to make it in this world. LIVIN. So we're just
LIVIN,
living.
baby.
That's all
Yeah,
we're living.
I love too, like any other film that would have done this kind of script, this would have been a graduation movie, right? But they don't do that. By making them juniors going into senior year, it kind of takes away the idea that there's some kind of significance to this night. Otherwise, then they're now becoming seniors, right? But it makes it even feel more slice of life and not just like, oh, graduation night, which you see those kind of movies and things like that. So I think that really helps balance out its themes. And I watched this YouTube video that really put it well, that Richard Linklater in his movies, and you think of like Suburbia, which is a brilliant film, even before and Sunrise and Sunset and Midnight, even those films are rather mundane, even though they have this ultra significance that's placed into it. It's like finding enlightenment and excitement through the mundane drag of life. And he captures the youth. Like everybody grew up thinking that it was the worst decade they were living in. Their town was the worst. Everybody was boring. Nobody wanted to do anything. There wasn't anything to do. Like we all have those thoughts at times, and it's a prevalent thing, but you feel it in Linklater's films, right? What about you, Perry? What did you think about the film? Was this your first time watching it?
First time watching it.
Oh, man.
And I was born in 93. So that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
I got to say, I really enjoyed this, and I wish I could watch a movie that was like this, but like for the 80s, 90s, and like for every decade, because I was born in 93. I never experienced the 70s. So to like have a whole snippet of a day of not seniors yet graduating, or not middle schoolers becoming high schoolers, but like that whole, I never seen middle schoolers and high schoolers like intertwine and interact with each other in a film before. And that's a really cool thing, because you don't really get to see that, because you have kids that are like 14, almost 15, hanging out with 17, almost 18-year-olds. It's like, that's a big age gap. And for them to like, you got one kid who's 14 hanging out with another kid who's drinking beers, getting ready to, senioritis, get out of there. Yeah. And it's cool seeing a movie like this. I really enjoyed it.
Plus, how old is Wooderson? Like,
they never really say.
Like he's in his late 20s.
He had the best lines.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best lines.
He definitely had the best lines, man. I'm really glad you enjoyed the film. It does encapsulate. We have a friend of the show, Chris Wallace, who did grow up in the 70s, and people that have grown up in the 70s that love this movie tell me that it's kind of pretty much spot on. And I don't doubt that, because I feel like if you just take it and place it in the 90s, it's my high school life. Like it's pretty much the same type stuff. Driving around,
teacher discussing politics inside the classroom. I'm like, oh my God, like they talked about this stuff like that. Like it never even crossed my mind that they had the same discussions that I had in high school. They had the same type of discussions in the 70s. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah. And you get your friends that are, and that's another thing I love about it, is that, the main character, if you want to call it one, because it's an ensemble piece, everybody's got their little arcs and they all kind of intertwine throughout the thing. But one of the main characters is Randall Pink Floyd, of course, his journey of whether or not he's going to sign this pledge to play football and get his priorities straight. By the way, that coach, that dickbag coach, all of them, we had coaches like that. Like there's just, they perfectly encapsulate.
That's just a coach. That's the archetype.
Yeah. I just really like how you get this meshing of the different cliques. It's not super clicky. There are cliques. You can tell like there's different cliques within the girls, and they're there's the jocks, and then there's the nerds, but they all know each other. They all exist together. And that's what high school eventually starts feeling like, especially going into senior year, when you've been going to that same high school. You kind of like, everybody finally knows each other, and like all of a sudden you're cool because you're a senior, right?
That's how you get the beer. Everyone has to know each other to get beer.
I know, right? I love when Mitch goes to get beer and he just regurgitates the lines he heard from Wooderson. Yeah, think of working for the city.
Working for the city.
It's money in my pocket. Here's some more money for your pocket. I love that damn clerk. He just cracks me up. Speaking of kooky, crazy clerks, Brooks has never been a clerk, but he has been kooky and crazy. What do you think about this film, Brooks?
This movie's all right. This is one of my favorites. Like, I remember, like, early on, I was at one of my buddies' house, like a sleepover, and like I remember seeing part of the movie. Like, I didn't watch all the way through, but it was the Slater's speech about Martha Washington, and like I'd always meant to eventually watch it again. When I did, like, I was like, it became like, one of my favorite movies, and like I wasn't actually that excited to rewatch it this time, but then like once I got it started. And like, it got rolling, like my memory juices started swirling again. I was like, oh yeah. Like, I remembered why I love this movie so much. Because I think I kind of may have burned myself out a bit on it, like earlier on,
Yeah.
Sometimes you love a movie, so you watch it too much. You don't appreciate it as much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this movie is great.
Yeah, it's a fantastic movie. It gets kind of lumped up as being a stoner movie, but it's also just this generational thing. I think he does accurately do the job of making an American graffiti for the 70s. And I'm right there with Perry. I think there needs to be one for the 90s, for the 2000s, like let's in the 80s. Let's keep it. And I'm sure they exist. And we could really think, Ferris Bueller's Day Off is not a good example of a regular day of a regular teen in the 80s, but Dazed and Confused is. Then the 90s has like the stoned age that doesn't work. It's just, that's that other Ben Affleck movie that's not so good. Let's talk about some of the cast though, because I think one of the reasons why this movie works so well is the cast. Richard Linklater, they were all new and he brought them all in, and they didn't have much time to rehearse, but he like gave everybody like mixtapes of what their character would listen to. Right. And that helped everybody understand who their characters were, because they're all distinct. You got, Pickford and his girlfriend by Mila Jovovich, by the way, in the film, and Slater, like just the deadheads, the stoners. And then you got the jocks, and it's just, they all embody those characters. They feel so natural. Like Melvin feels like a dude I knew, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Benny, like I knew that guy. Like they're all, and they're not playing themselves. They're playing these characters, or as Richard Linklater would put it, being these characters. My favorite character is Matthew McConaughey as Wooderson. He's creepy. He's like probably like 27, 28 years old, hanging out with high school.
So cool.
But he's just he says the coolest things. He's got a cool car. He's just driving. Like, I was watching it today, and when the first time you see him is when he comes into the Top Notch and he just circles around. He doesn't even say anything, right? And I was just like, he's so cool. Like he's really not. He's got this creepy ass stash, that weird hair, the peach colored pants. But the way they set it all up, when he walks in the Emporium and it goes slow-mo and Hurricane's playing by Bob Dylan, if that's not just the most ultimate badass scene in movie history, I love Wooderson. It's so many lines, tell you what, you should drop the two geeks you're in the car with now, ride with us, but it's all right. We'll work that out later.
Already at the moon tower.
We had geography together. Anyway, really, really great movie. So many quotable lines. Matthew McConaughey's given us so many good ones. Brief thoughts on Wooderson. Why is he so cool, Jelani?
He's the embodiment of cool. I don't understand it. He has this presence, and like I see why McConaughey is big now. I see why this could have been a breakout role for him, because I think that was his personality in a lot of ways. Like he's so laid back in real life, and I feel that he brought such that gravitas to that role. He's just, I don't know how to explain it. He's so cool.
It's just so cool.
It's so cool. And like, you want to hang out with him. He's everyone's friend. I don't think anyone had a beef with him in this movie. Like you get certain things like Nicky Cat and Evan Goldberg had their little thing, their little tuffle. Clint, yeah. And like, yep. And why you break it up? You know what I'm saying? And it's, he helped break up the fight. So it's just he's just like everyone's chaperone. He feels like he's the chaperone for these kids.
He's the chaperone.
He's the chaperone watching
the RA.
Hey, Aerosmith tickets. Aerosmith.
Yeah, Aerosmith tickets, man.
Front seats.
Yep.
Front row.
That's right.
What do you think about
everything?
What do you think about Wooderson in the film, Perry?
I think he's stuck in high school. I think he never grew up. I get it. Like, he's cool. I enjoyed his character, but like looking at it, like from the outside, I would not want my 17-year-old hanging out, shooting pool with a fucking grown ass man. My 14-year-old daughter to be getting hit on. What did he say? He said, I like high school girls because as I get older, they stay the same age.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's creepy, man. That's some pedophilia right there, you know?
Character. He's playing a creepy character, but he's he's still so well-rounded. That's something that's cool. Like Parker Posey and Ben Affleck played villain-type characters in this film, right? But they still have, like, I love Parker Posey as Darla in this film. Like, she cracks me up, man. And when she's like, lick me, all of you. Like, I love it. Ben Affleck as O'Banion, just, oh my goodness, cracks me up. But yeah, he is creepy. And I would not want, if I had a 17-year-old, I wouldn't want him or her hanging out with Wooderson. Maybe they are bad influences. Huh. Maybe this movie's actually a horror movie. Like the guy.
Well, when I watched it, it just seemed like nonstop corruption for these little kids, man. You know, these older kids are corrupting, you know, like I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. You know, I like the movie. I'm like, oh my God, like you're going down so many different bad paths in life.
Well,
maybe Coach was right. Maybe Coach was right.
Well, not really. They don't have to be so stuck up about it. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody likes a dude that wears their shorts up that high and their socks that high and talks like that. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants to be told like that at that age. You know, it's about that feeling of like you're told. And I love. There's a great moment in the film. We're touching too much on theme, but there's a great moment where Giovanni Ribisi's sister. What's it? Is it Marissa Ribisi? Cynthia's her character. She's saying like, why does everything feel like it's got to be some kind of preamble to something? Like, what's wrong with living for now? And that's kind of like
for that. She gives the best theme in the movie. What she does. That's it.
Yeah, they all got their arcs, and that's kind of embrace the now. Don't worry about it. It's not all preparation. That's what we're told in high school. All throughout school, we're told like this is all preparation for something. Real life will happen one day. Even like the junior highs, you know, kids, they're like, oh man. Freshman girls, you know, I mean, freshman girls will put out. We'll really be getting laid next year. And then Slater's like, man, don't worry. When I get to college, I'm going to be banging so much. And like, it's always, you feel like there's a preamble to something. And sometimes that leads to youthful dissatisfaction with everyday life, right? Because we feel like we're being prepared for something epic that never is going to show up.
Never happened.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something like that. Brooks, what do you think about Wooderson?
I like Wooderson because I like his philosophy. His philosophy is do what makes you happy, and like he believes everybody should live by that. And I don't think he's as predatory. You know, he is kind of a guy who like checks out younger girls. Yeah. He doesn't come off as somebody a guy who's like predatory who like goes after young girls. You know,
he's not like creeping around with like an overcoat or nothing.
Yeah.
He's got
like
a charm
taking in the scenery, I guess.
Like, I love that moment where he hits on Cynthia, right? He's like, I love those redheads, you know? And like, they're all like, oh, that's so disgusting. Do you realize that when he graduated, we were like 3? And she's like, I don't know. I thought he was kind of cute. And they're like, are we still going? Yeah. And they're like, are we still going? They're like, well, yeah, of course. Like, of course we're going to go. Hey, party at the Moon Tower. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. What's another character you'd like to highlight, Jelani?
My next favorite character, since you took Matthew McConaughey away, it's basically Mitch Kramer, the kid, the one that was I like him a lot. I really, and he's just this kid, just this regular kid that's now thrust into this world, and how he deals with it. He plays it really cool.
He's really down for whatever. I like that kid.
He's down for whatever it is. He gets the girl. You know what I'm saying? He's just so he's and his sister's cool. I like her. I like every character in this movie, except for one. But I love every character in this movie because each one of them has a heart. They're not terrible people. They're just kids, and they're doing kid stuff. And he's like the embodiment of it. I love how his friends like totally leave him to get his ass whooped.
Those damn kids, man.
Those kids, man.
They basically tell him, be our decoy, please.
Yeah. Will you leave out of right field, please? Lure them away from us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to get you anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like he had this a solid arc, and I think, of course, Pink had a solid arc. And I just believe that they're the kind of the two characters I think were the main characters of this film.
Yeah.
And even it ends with Mitch like on the bed listening to music.
Yep.
It feels like the end of Friday when like Craig is getting to bed and it's the end of the night. And it feels the same way. It has the kind of the same vibe.
You know, Friday is a good
Friday's
day
a
in the
good
life
life.
for the
It
90s.
is.
Like
Exactly.
for real. Maybe not for the average American, but like it's a really it's pretty much just like this one. As far as that goes.
And I feel and it's a semi-stoner flick, so it kind of qualifies. So I mean, it has the same vibe, and I think the characters kind of have the same vibes as well. But I think Mitch embodies it. I think I just really like him. I really like him as a character. I always thought that he would always come out on top. There wasn't really anything that really. Well, there's no real conflict in this movie. I mean, there is a little bit.
It's inner conflict for the most
inner
part.
conflict, but it's not. Yeah, it's not outwardly posed out there. But I think he had one of the best arcs in the film. Yeah, it is life, and it's a great slice of life film, and he's just one of the great characters in it.
Absolutely,
and I just really appreciate it.
I also like how the high schoolers, the seniors, look way different in age than the freshmen. You know, like because in most movies they would just all look like 30-year-olds.
Yeah, there were gaps. You can see people, but they look like they all belong together.
Yeah,
you know.
So, and apparently they filmed the movie over a summer, and you know they're all like high schoolers basically, or just out of high school, and they all lived in a hotel room together. They all became friends and hung out and did all that stuff. So a lot of that was natural. Perry, what's another character you'd like to highlight?
Another character I would like to. Well, first I want to piggyback off of that one. What was his name? Randy?
Oh
yeah, Pink. Randall
that
Pink
was
Floyd.
The kid with the coming of age, like we see him like
you're talking about Mitch.
Mitch. Oh,
yeah,
that was like the most relatable character to me. Like just being because I felt like I was maybe sheltered as a child. So the moment I got to go out for the night, and it was like, oh, we're drinking, we're driving, we're smoking, line of blow, just all in freshman year, you know. It's just like that's just right. We're doing it all. Like I'm down for whatever, and it was like that was that kid's mentality. He's just like, I'll do it. Oh, you need beer? I'll go buy beer. You know, like you give me a cup, give me a cup. There's a girl here. I'm gonna hook up with her. I was like, all right, this is the relatable character for me. You know, I thought he was like the most. Now, the second guy who I really enjoyed, I think his name was Mike, the kid who poured beer on the other kid's head and sucker punched him in the face, and then got his ass beat.
Adam Goldberg's character.
Adam Goldberg, I mean,
I really liked him because he felt like it was almost like he was getting bullied to the point where he was just like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. Like I'm just gonna go out, and if I go out swinging, at least I'll nail a punch. You know, and then after he gets his ass beat, he rationalizes. He's like, well, there wasn't really a winner when you're in a brawl, you know? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know, you went in there, you showed everybody that you're not to be messed with, that you're not just like a sack of shit. You're going to stand up for yourself. And I was like, I like that. I applaud that. Because the beginning of the whole movie was like nonstop bullying on everybody. Yeah. So I was like, this is kind of.
It was like he took this one little slight and he just couldn't let it go. And he just had to do something about it.
That's but that's an accumulation of all of his years.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that I get the idea that him and Clint have had beef before. And it's such a weird thing for him to get all pissed off. He's at the party at the Moon Tower, right? Everybody's there, right? Or everybody's cool and drinking beer. And the guy's like, "What'd you say, Chief?" You know, you said
smells like monkey motherfucker.
And he starts off because he's walking to get his beer. It like starts off, and I'm like, wow, that's pretty messed up.
We all knew that guy though. That guy like Clint, you know, he takes off his shirt. You know, it's like everybody would do. You take off your shirt, like, bruh, come on.
He had this. What he said the same thing that the other guy said in They Live. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, but he said, I'm here to drink beer and get into a fight, some shit like that.
Yeah, I'm here to drink beer and kick ass.
I'm all out of beer. Yeah.
I'm all out of beer.
Yeah, that's Nicky Cat. This is such a fantastic cast of characters, man. But Mike's a really good. I also love that moment where he's like, you know, how I talked about how I wanted to go to law school and maybe go help the people, and then I'm at the D, or I'm at the line.
Like these people.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't even like the people that I want to help, so maybe I just need to realize. And he's like, I want to dance. I love it. What about you, Brooks? What's a character you'd like to highlight?
Oh, Pickford's dad, obviously.
Oh man,
Oh man.
I'm kidding, of
cases
course.
of beers. For instance, we got to spotlight Pickford for a second. The guy's the guy you go to get your weed. He's got the cool chick. I feel like they have the truest love, right?
Yeah.
Because Pink doesn't really have a good love story because he kind of he totally like ghosts Simone in the beginning of the movie, tries to hook up with this other chick till she's like, what about your girlfriend? And then he's like, oh yeah. And then he winds back up with her and she just tags along. So he's just he is kind of like, I love that moment too. She's like, you act like you're so oppressed, but like, come on, like for real.
Free reign.
You can't do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
But Pickford's
really,
dope.
I'd say Slater. Slater is he'd be my favorite male character in this movie. My favorite female would be was it Darla, Parker Posey's character?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she reminds me of like if like Lucy Van Pelt from the Peanuts comic strips was in high school.
Yes. That is so accurate.
But yeah, Slater is like the speeches, the philosophizing.
Yes.
Catch you later.
I love that. Yeah, that song's about weed, man. You didn't know that? You didn't know that?
I think he doesn't have quite as good a grip on American history as he thinks.
Yeah.
Martha Washington, she was a hip.
Martha Washington facts are spot on.
They used to buy acres of land, right? And growing weed everywhere. All over the country, man.
Old lady.
Do you ever look at a dollar bill on weed, man? Some crazy.
And it's green, man. It's green.
I love that scene so much because like Mila Jovovich is just singing that song, like let them fly away.
That's like the only thing that comes out of her mouth the whole movie is that little bit of song.
Right? But Pickford's just sitting there and he just goes, "Song's about aliens, man.
Yeah.
We're the aliens, man."
Mila Jovovich's character usually has a joint in her mouth throughout most of this movie too.
Yeah, they're the coolest, man. I also love when they go and bust the mailboxes. And and when they get the bowling ball, he's like, "Whose bowling ball is this?" Like, "It's yours." He's like, "Bowling ball, throw the bowling ball." And he's like, and they crash that window, and everybody gets quiet. He's like, "That bowling ball just went right through that fucking windshield." We used to do stupid shit like that, and then that dude shows up messing with mailboxes is a felony offense.
Yeah.
Just go, man. Anyway, that's fun stuff. The style and structure of the film, it's excellently edited. So like they had to keep taking bits out of the script as they were going because they were falling behind. Richard Linklater said that basically anything he needed, he felt like he only got 80% of it, right? And him and the producers would clash. Like they did this whole take of Ben Affleck, like when he's like going to like paddle that dude before he gets like paint on him, and he just kept saying cocksucker. And then, like, they got in a big fight. Like, the producer comes storming on set. Like, how did you think you were going to get away with this? You can't say cocksucker. That's the worst thing to say. You can't. He's like, what? I thought motherfucker would be worse. And so they, like, had to redo it. Like, apparently it was kind of
you motherfucking cockfucker.
Yeah, right?
Just smush it together.
Yeah. But, so apparently, I think because of how much he spent building the characters with these actors and the way that the movie is paced out, and we'll get to this in the next bit, but the way that the music is so essential to this movie, the way it's made, it's so down to earth. It feels so real. You're not even aware of the brilliant technical aspects of what's going on because it's just so engaging. And for something that just doesn't have a very simple hero's quest that we get in a lot of films, like that's fascinating. And that just means that this movie is incredibly well crafted from script to performance, to editing, to the whole shebang. The cinematography is great. I didn't get to watch it on Blu-ray. I got the Criterion DVD still, but it still looked amazing. So, Jelani, what do you think about the style, structure, and look of the film?
Oh, man. It's a great looking film, and it's well paced as well. I didn't feel bored at all in this film. I love how everything is shot. I like how the characters, the way they flow in this movie, and especially of course with and he drives around, and they make it a point to follow him around, and it's little scenes like that, and it makes me feel it makes you feel like the movie is lived in. I guess the best way to put it. It feels like you're a part of it. And I like movies that are like that. I like it when you engage me. And I like when you tell me what your story is at the beginning, what it is, what we're doing, and go from there instead of dragging it out. And I think it's paced very well, and I think the structure of it, I mean, it has its 3 act structure. I mean, you get your little conflicts. I mean, the biggest conflict would probably be like Pink's refusal to sign it at the very end, and he just throws it at him. And I think that's a great a centerpiece of things. But it's the beginning, a middle, and the end. You told me a story. You told me a story within a day too, and did a great job of it. So yeah, I love this. I love how it's made. I love everything about it.
Nice. What about you, Perry? Thoughts on the style and structure of the film?
I thought it was really cool. Like the way that it was shot. It even gave me that 70s show vibes at times, especially when they had the camera on the hood of the car showing them driving, and in the passenger seat, it reminded me of the intro of that 70s show, how it's that camera angle is just one camera not moving, but you see the background moving, so it looks like they're moving, and they're just in the car having this conversation back and forth. I thought that was really cool. The style of the movie I thought was shot pretty good. Like I think you just referred to it as it felt like it was lived in. It 100,000%. The beginning, I was slightly confused because I'm like, well, where's the protagonist?
You're also dazed.
Where like where's the protagonist? Like whose story is this? And then they you recall them saying final day of high school 1976, and it's like, all right, so this is just like a daily vlog in that life. So I was like, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, super cool. I like that approach. That was the most profound thing Jelani has ever said, is that this movie feels lived in. That's just like, seriously, like that astounds me. That is so profound. That's just right on the nose. Speaking of on the nose, Brooks, you got something right there on the tip of your tip. Anyway, what do you think about the style and structure of the film, Brooks?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think is good, and it's kind of like how easy it is, and for slasher movies to make teenage characters like high schoolers and stuff unlikable. Like it's so much harder to make them likable, especially when you have like so many different kinds of high schoolers. But this movie does it. Like you actually care about a lot of the different characters. Like there's characters in this movie like that you wish you'd see more of, like Melvin. Like I'd like to have seen a little bit more with Melvin.
It's past your bedtime. Run along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I think Pickford didn't get enough time really, because
he didn't either.
He's in,
but
the
so
thing is, they're all there.
Good characters in this movie. It's like, who do you give the time to?
I know, but I think it's all balanced because they're all there. It's like a little bit where Melvin's dancing in the back of the truck, or when Benny stands up and he's like, "Whoa," because we've all been there, where you stand up after drinking, you're like, "Oh, I better sit back down right the hell now." And Pickford's one of my favorites. Who he's in so many scenes. He's always driving, but he's not focused on as much. But I like how cool he is too. His party gets washed out. That's a great scene in this movie.
His conversation with the the keg delivery guy.
Yeah. So I guess you got the wrong house. Oh, inconvenient to you. Wrong Mr. Pickford altogether. Hey, no problem.
You got a whole truck of beer. Who does that?
No shit, right?
Who does a whole truck of beer?
Early? How do you how did he afford that as a high schooler?
Well, he's a drug dealer now.
He's a drug dealer, bro.
He sells weed so that he gets some money for the beer and then charges everyone to get inside the house. He's going to be an entrepreneur.
I love that Slater goes there to buy weed, and then he's like, $15, my man. He's like, you bought me 10. And you can just
Tuesday and shit.
Yeah, you mentioned right? Yeah, that's back in the day. You mentioned Slater earlier. Rory Cochrane does such a good job because you could view this movie just watching Slater at all times, because there's so many little nuances to what he's doing. Like when Pickford's dad comes into the room, like he waits till the last moment to hide the weed because he's like trying to weigh it. And he's like, it's so freaking funny. So funny. So funny. So let's talk about the music. The music is freaking brilliant. Aerosmith, Sweet Emotion, starting with Pickford cruising on into the parking lot. I'm hooked. That is amazing. Like, this is going to be the only time you'll ever hear me say, like, Ted Nugent made this shit badass. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even kidding. I love the soundtrack. They released the first CD, then they had volume 2 because it was just so much awesome music. You got Peter Frampton, you've got War, you've got, oh my goodness, Kiss, and 2 brilliant Foghat songs. One of those songs, Slow Ride, they used twice in the movie. So I absolutely love this soundtrack. I'll put it on all the time at work, and it's just something so cool and just a nice collection of music that doesn't just make it feel nostalgic, but actually works and is inherent into the story. It's like the difference between the music in Suicide Squad, where they just made a mixtape of popular songs, or Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Yeah. It's the same, like this, the soundtrack is like Guardians, where they're popular, known songs, but they are specifically placed for very strategic moments in the story and for the character journeys. But I think it's brilliant, because usually when you're just doing a soundtrack instead of a score, you're just kind of just throwing shit together. But this was very purposeful, and I absolutely adored it. What about you, Jelani? What do you think about the music?
I agree with everything you said, man. That's nuts. All of these are popular songs, every last one of them, and like they're put in perfectly. And they integrate in the film well. Sometimes, like I was gonna use the Suicide Squad reference as well. It's not just thrown in there just to be there, for nostalgia's sake. These were the songs they heard. It kind of goes with the story that you're on at that moment, and it tells it so well. This is a perfect soundtrack. Like, if you're gonna get music for a film, or if you're going to do music for a film and you're going to use popular music, I would use that, like, in that slice of life 1976 world. You've done a perfect job, and I'm glad they put out 2. Now I need to go get them, because I never owned the soundtrack for this, but now I want to. It's just everything on it I love, so it's fantastic. What
about you, Perry? Do you like the music?
I lost it when they walked into the pool hall playing the Hurricane. I was like, oh my God. I perked up the moment I heard it. I was like, I was singing along. I was like, this is great. But yeah, no, like the piggyback again, the music was flawless in this movie. It almost felt like a comic book with no words, because it's telling the story like in a comic just by visualizing it. And this one, they would start a scene with a certain music and it sets the entire tone. And I was like, all right, they got me. This sucked me in, So yeah, music, great job, top notch.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's scenes just go right into another. Like, you'll hear one song fade out and another song come right back in to set the tone. Like when Mitch and that chick are making out on that hillside on the blanket, and they're playing "Summer Breeze Makes Me Feel the Fire." Yeah. Ooh, right? Just gives you chills, but not the kind of chills you just got with all of us trying to de-harmonize each other. Brooks, I already know you love this music, so speak on it.
Yeah, well, this is like the music I actually grew up on. Is my dad was like, he was big into classic rock, and like every time we went anywhere, he was playing 106.1. That was the only radio station he ever played. And so, like, I'd heard all these songs, like, growing up throughout my childhood, like, and I love that, like, the way they work with this movie is just, it's so good. This is like a good, like, they used to make these compilations called, like, Freedom Rock and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, the soundtrack of this movie is like a really good Freedom Rock compilation.
It is. Rock and roll, hoochie coo.
Ray Derringer.
Love that shit. All right, what's the movie trying to say, Jelani? What's this movie about? It's about a lot of things, for a lot of different reasons, to a lot of different people. To you, what is this movie trying to say?
Just transitioning, just going from one phase of your life to another. How you grow as a person and how you live. It's such a cool film. It's like one of the coolest films I've ever watched, where it tells that story so well. And I think everyone there had their own little crises in their mind, but at the same time, they're just having fun. This kid's having fun. And I feel that it is such that's how I hung out when I was a kid. When I hung out, I had parties like this. I had friends like this. And it brings me back to that nostalgia of it and how I transitioned, from being, a middle school kid to a high school kid. Now, I didn't do much my freshman year because freshman year was awful. Junior year was amazing. I think my sophomore and junior years were fantastic. My senior year was the best year I'd ever had in high school or in school in general, because I hated middle school. Middle school was trash. But when I got to high school, it got a lot better. And a lot of my friends were an eclectic group of people. Like I knew the stoner kids, you know what I'm saying? I knew the band kids. I knew the choir kids because I was in choir. I knew the jocks. I was friends with like a lot of people in high school, and I'm still friends with them to this day. So
what happened in your senior year? Like everybody kind of becomes cool with each other.
Yeah, you're just kind of cool. This is how it worked, and it feels like I said, it feels like I was moving in a different direction, and that's what this movie brings out of me. I just feel like it's just a transitional phase of our lives that we go through, and you're just cool through it. That's all I got.
I think it captures it generationally too. You know, like. It definitely, apparently does a good job of capturing that moment in the 70s and 76. But it's just something that can carry over into any kind of a decade, like this experience of being in high school and everything that's in front of you and everything that's the small bit that's behind you that you think is really big. You think you're so wise. You're Slater explaining about the nuances of the birthing and founding of America, or you're the nerds where they're talking and dissecting about Ford policies, and it doesn't matter. He's going to be out here in the fall anyway, and and they care so much. And then others that care so much about football. When Benny's like, right. We built this our whole lives, and we've been waiting for this. We got a chance. We can win state. And when he says it, like to him, that's like legitimate. If this was Varsity Blues, that's the crux of the movie. But it's not Varsity Blues, and from Pink's point of view, that looks almost pathetic, right? Because he's got this movie to me is a little anti-authoritarian at times, and that's just the rebellion of childhood, of teenagers, of being the youthful. And I have this rebellious streak always through me. That whole Rage Against the Machine thing. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Like, and you get that, and you're Pink's feeling expectations, not just from his coaches or from school, and not just even from his friends, but it's intense from his friends too, because he's got all these different friend groups that are pulling him in different ways. But he's got this struggle within. And so everybody in this movie, even Donnie, is struggling with something internal, and it comes out for him on the football field, where he's like, I just want to look back and say that I did it with the best with what I had, and it's more simplistic and less nuanced than some of the others. But if you look at his behavior, that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to have as much sex and drink as much beer and have as much fun as he can while he's in high school. He understands almost like a Joker idea of it. Like, this is all kind of meaningless anyway. And let's be honest, for the most part, you don't really hang out with those people you knew in high school and shit like that. Like 2 years later, nobody does remember who won the fight. Nah, sorry, Mike. Everybody remembers who won the fight.
It's just a world.
What about you, Perry? What do you think this movie's trying to say?
Well, first I want to say starting off high school freshman was great. Senior year was so bad. So I have a completely opposite than you high school experience. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know if this makes any sense.
If it makes you feel better, I thought I hated it at the time. At the time, I thought I hated it, but then I look back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, it was awesome.
Good time.
It really was. Yeah.
All right, let me see if this makes any sense. This to me felt like a cinematic documentary in a sense that it's taking a slice of life from the 70s of a high school kids, middle school going into high school, and portraying that like this is what life was like in 1976 at the end of the school year. Like, how do you explain what high school was like? Like, you ask your parents and they sit down and tell you this is like visually showing you there's kids smoking weed. There's everybody was drinking and driving. People were smoking cigarettes. They were rolling these horrible joints. Everybody was smoking roach clips, and it's like those little tiny things we don't do that no more. Like, how many 17-year-olds are all drinking beers, riding around, breaking mailboxes? I don't think that's happening a lot anymore. You know?
Down here in Alabama, it happens.
Does it really?
It's still going strong, man. They're
Oh,
probably
man.
still doing that in Texas
I
too.
bashed the mailbox.
Yep.
But
I
yeah,
work
no,
out
that's
now,
how
though.
I've seen this film.
I was driving through my
that's-
neighborhood the other day. There was 2 mailboxes bashed. I'm not even kidding.
That's
Coming back.
nuts.
You got to be careful when you bash mailboxes. You can break your arm. I'm not
You
even
get
kidding.
shot.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If you're driving too fast, somebody's driving too fast, and you try to swing at it, take your arm with you.
There are people around us allegedly that go to cow tipping, Perry. Can you believe that?
That's fucked up, man.
They
True.
go and push over cows. Like,
That's
that's
mean.
so sad, isn't it?
It is.
That is pretty messed
And
up.
you could die because the cow could, fall on you.
How does it get up? It just lays there.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't do anything.
Well,
How does it-
Cows are super dumb. My dad
Yeah.
used to raise cattle. They're dumb. They're dumb. They're real dumb.
But
That's
you're
why
not
we
so,
farm.
you're not so bright yourself, Brooks. Okay.
But I mean, like, if
How
someone's
dare
dumb
you.
in a wheelchair, you're not gonna push them over. You know. You know, like if you see someone in the wheelchair and you're like, "Oh, well, they're dumb," and you can't just push them over, dude. You know.
What?
You
Okay.
probably could. You probably could.
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
what the
I guess
movie's
you
about.
could.
That's what the movie's about, Perry. Don't
But,
push over
yeah.
people in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
No, I get exactly what you're saying, though. What about you, Brooks? What's this movie about?
Well, to me, I think the main thread of this movie, or at least one of them, is kind of the hypocrisy of authority. Because these the coach is coming down so hard on his players and Pink and everything about not doing drugs and committing themselves to the thing, and basically not enjoying themselves in order to play football. And yet at the same time, they turn a blind eye to these fucking guys beating children, basically fucking driving around, fucking chasing kids down and all this other crazy shit in this fucking weird ass hazing ritual. And
Yeah.
It's like authorities they'll turn a blind eye to this, which seems is obviously so much worse, but they'll come down on you for trying to fucking have a good time. Heaven forbid you should do that, right?
Right. At least
Yeah.
the cops didn't bust up this party. I love that
And it's
part.
the coach is the closest thing this movie has to a villain, because he's antithetical to everything that the other characters are doing. They're trying to enjoy their life and have fun while they can, and he's just he's the buzzkill.
Yeah. And they're also the coaches are encouraging this behavior too, because at the time he's like, I know you're going to be out there chasing the muff around, all that stuff, and yeah, that the idea that hypocrisy is there. So I think it's about all that. It's about the transition phase of youth. It's about that rebellious nature of youth. It's about feeling the expectations of everyone around you and your own, trying to figure out who you are and how you fit in, feeling like your town's dead and it will never get better. What's this expectation for? This reaches deep in it, and it does it in a very subtle way. This movie is a very subtle movie. It's not very direct. It is at times, but for the most part, I would say this is a very nuanced film that has a lot to say. It's got a lot packed in and a lot of heart. So it's also just about smoking weed and having a good time, y'all. It's Dazed and Confused, baby. Now it's time for the rating. And you out there in the chat, I want to know what you think. Out of 5 possible, you digs. What
You
do you
guys got a
think?
joint?
I did
Not
not.
on me,
Cool
man.
if you did.
I have multiple.
It'd be cool. Yeah.
It's like multiple.
Yeah.
I actually just got this really cool ashtray. It's an alien.
Ooh.
Mm.
We're the aliens, man.
We are the aliens.
Out of 5, you digs. What do you give it, Jelani? And you out there in the chat, let us know.
Technically, John is the alien, but it's okay.
Yes.
I think I'm going to. I always give it this score because I always love this movie. The rewatchability factor is insane. I've only seen it 4 times in my life, but I'm going to watch it more. I'm giving it a 5. It's a clean movie. It's so good. I love all of the characters except for one, and it's just it tells a great story. It does a great slice of life, and I'll watch it again. I'll tell others about it. It's a 5 straight away. I mean, it's Friday. it's basically Friday.
Is that one character O'Banion?
Oh no, it's Obey.
Is that the character you don't like? Yeah, okay.
Well,
'Cause I was
the
about
fact
to
that
say-
he's a dick the entire time, and he
Yeah.
gets his comeuppance.
He does a great
I
job.
was going to talk about him, but
Yeah,
gets it-
he's just so petulant, man. It's so funny. Like
why?
when he's like, "Fuck
Let
all
him
of you,
go.
fuck
Yeah.
all of you."
He's like
he's
the
just-
worst. He's the worst, and like,
And
he's
here's
the
the
one
thing,
that, like,
man.
I want to beat your ass the
we were
most.
talking about how Wooderson was creepy. I think the creepiest is O'Banion
Yeah,
because he relishes.
He flunked school.
And it's like he's way
Just to
too
do
into
it
this whole
again.
paddling
Yeah,
young kids
young
thing.
young boys.
What he's
And he's already done it once.
He flunked
Yeah.
senior year, so he gets to be a dickhead twice
Did
in a row.
twice.
Is that even
And I'm
legal?
like, and I love that the asshole from Fashionable Mail, gets his comeuppance. So it's
He
worth
does.
it.
What about you, Perry? Out of 5, you digs.
Out of 5, you digs. Real quick, the dad completely changed the entire story that this is. Like, if they would have had that house party, everything could have been completely different. Like, every outcome could have been completely shifted. And that just goes to show, like, how life can be. How one decision from a parent to a kid could affect almost an entire graduating class or class going into senior year, which is kind of crazy to even think about. But
The beer guy.
I want to
changed
say,
destiny.
like, I want to say, like,
Make an alternate
a
cut of
solid.
movie where like they do get to do the party at Pickford's house.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. Probably like a 4.5, you digs.
4.5, you digs.
4.5.
Okay. What about you, Brooksy?
I give this a 5. Obviously, this movie's it's my jam. I guess my great jam. Yeah, this
Okay.
movie, like I can. It's one of those movies, that you can watch just whenever. Like I'll never not be in the mood to watch this movie. I don't think from this point forward. Like I was for a little while, but now I think, like I'm always down for Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, I could watch it again right now. Probably, to be
Mhm.
honest with you. So,
Yeah.
it's no surprise I'm going 5, you digs as well. I think this is a pitch perfect movie. Great performances, a great script, amazing dialogue, brilliant pacing and editing, fantastic music, a great vision. Just overall a great experience. It resonates. It says something. So 5, you digs. So that's super cool. Looking out in the chat, we got Tony in the house giving it 5. I am Will says hard 5, kind of like an over hard egg, right? 62 Lefty Blues says it's a solid 5. Tomorrow Cinema says 4, you dig. So like that's 6 slips or 15 backlogs. I think you got your conversion rate right.
Is this a new bit? The backlog.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
It's a bit.
That's a really low
Behind
seat.
on the bits.
What? Yeah, you're always behind on the bits.
Yeah.
Fable says 4.5 over hard, you digs. I like that.
They're over hard.
Yeah. Dazed and Confused is a 5, you dig. Hell yeah. So overall, we love it. We gave it high scores. I gave it a 5. Jelani gave it a 5. Brooks gave it a 5. And Perry gave it a 4.5 for a PCP average of 4.69, dudes. Hell yeah, man. Yes, that was our look at Dazed and Confused. I hope everybody has a safe and happy Dazed and Confused 420 coming up. We'll be right back for PCP back chat and a little bit of show and tell action right after this. Hey, and we're back. And look, Brooks has changed, Perry.
Yo, he's an animal.
You changed, bro.
Hilarious, dude.
That's hilarious. Brooks has changed before us. We got a late edition there. 5 you digs from Woody's comic chest. Also, an announcement next week. Join us for PCP movie night. And guess what movie we're talking about? That's right. It's finally time. Johnny Lawrence's favorite movie, Iron Eagle, everybody.
Iron Eagle. Oh, the guy from Cobra Kai.
You can watch this movie on Amazon Prime right now in the States. So join us next week.
It's so good. It's so
Iron
good.
Eagle. I haven't seen that shit
It is
since
awesome.
like middle school, probably.
I watched this movie twice in the theater. Twice.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I love movies like this. I love kick explosions. It's my favorite genre. Action has got to be my favorite.
Action Fest is on its way.
Yeah. Almost think it. Oh yeah. What's on slate? Do you know? Or do you have already?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I know you're gonna release it. I'll wait.
Oh, I already announced
I think
it before.
you announced it before and I forgot what it was.
We're doing Face Off. We're doing Cobra.
Okay.
Face Off.
Face Off.
Cobra. Die Hard. Lethal Weapon. The John Wick franchise.
Ooh, I just finished that.
We're doing 2 different PCP polls. One is going to be Keanu Reeves centric, and then we're doing the Fast and Furious movies.
Ooh, I hope we get Matrix. I really watched it. Why is it? Just the first one again. I don't know why. I love that movie.
Yeah.
It is absolutely adoring. And Point Break, that'd be good.
Yeah, Point Break, Speed. Johnny Mnemonic, maybe.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. It's sci-fi. Yeah.
There's other things, that I'm not thinking of, I'm sure.
We'll have to play Cyberpunk.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. I heard it wasn't that great.
No, we're not going to do that.
I'll play games, man. I'll play games.
Yeah. If it's not on SNES.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk for the NES.
Don't play those.
Why not, man? Why not? So we had 2 weeks off. Did you guys have a good 2 weeks off of PCP movie night? That was a nice break, wasn't it?
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. I think we deserved it.
What's I've been able to go to the expo on that Friday. I had to work.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was pretty cool.
Expo was awesome. And thanks to the guys who showed up. I really appreciate it for our panel. That was awesome.
Our panel was at the end of the day on Sunday, so there's like
No
a
one
handful
there.
of people there, and I
People
think
are
I even
leaving.
pissed. I think I even pissed off 2 people because they left, but it's okay. We
were
went
talking about
live in
the
the
Snyder
PCP
Cut.
Army. We wound up having a good panel, though.
Yeah,
Honestly.
it was a good panel. I liked it a lot. And Robbie, you came with good questions, man. I liked them. I liked your questions.
Yeah, Perry. By the way, how do you like your eggs?
Over hard.
Are you being for real, or are you just trying to join the bit?
No.
You're joining the bit.
Oh man, I like omelets. I'm a good omelet guy. Some ham in there, some jalapenos. Some cheese.
Yeah,
Omelets are good. Omelets are good.
I'm an omelet guy. Yeah, or
I
bacon,
like
egg,
omelet.
and cheese.
Oh yeah.
I like the right.
A garden omelet occasionally. You put some veggies
Mexican
in there.
omelet.
Ooh, with some chorizo. Oh, the Colorado omelet, right?
Colorado omelets. Yeah, those are awesome.
Oh man, I'm getting hungry.
Go to IHOP and get one.
Oh man, I've been IHOP forever.
Or make it.
Yeah, I know how to make omelets now. I used to every time I would try to make an omelet, I was like, well, guess it's scrambled eggs. Because
Well, you gotta get the right skillet. You gotta get.
I learned how to do it. No, I just learned the trick
non-stick.
of
And
just
you gotta flip it at the right time.
I learned the trick of just like lifting up like the edges and letting it run back in, and it just kind of becomes this nice. I can make this nice like fluff thing that kind of is like a folded egg at like a McDonald's or something like that. I learned how to perfect that. It's very beneficial.
Cool.
I made eggs today in a weird stretch, and I made one of them over hard and took a photo and put it in the PCP Army. It was great. Because Brian Perry in the conversation, like we're talking about the way we like to prepare eggs, and Brian's the first one to answer, and he just goes over hard, and like there was just like. First of all, J Strick didn't even know what the hell that meant, so he was like, "Oh, what does that even mean?"
What over hard is? It's a fried egg.
And he's just like over hard. It's over hard egg. And then Brian took a picture of him making over hard eggs the other day, but he wasn't finished. He actually burned them. He told me. But whatever. Everybody in the chat, how do you like to make your eggs? And do you like over hard eggs? I prefer over easy, but that's just me.
Over easy's with the yolk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's running. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, like
when you
that.
put it in a bagel and you bite into it and it comes out the other side and it drips down your arm.
Yeah, or on a hamburger. Oh,
yes, on a hamburger.
Ooh, Steak and Shake got them.
Yeah.
Red Robin got
Red
them.
Robin got them. Yeah.
Ooh.
A lot of places have them now. Bad Daddy's. I don't know. We have a Bad Daddy's here. It's good.
Yeah, we do. I haven't been there yet.
Brooks likes his scrambled on bread as a sandwich with some salt and pepper.
Sandwich.
Jelani, if he has times, makes eggs Benedict from scratch. He says
it's fun.
Fancy boy.
I poach an egg, and when I learned how to poach an egg, I was like, "What? This is all?" And so, like, I just started poaching eggs, and it's easy. You just pop it in there. It turns into a bubble, and then you get to pop it, and it's goodness. And then the sauce and the English muffin and all the stuff with it. Yeah.
Fable says scrambled.
Scrambled's good.
62 says over easy. Runny yolks, biatch. Derek says scrambled. Tomorrow says I like them over easy. TM Nerdy says I don't eat eggs. Thanks for letting us know. Instead of just not answering. You could have done that. Weird stretch, Travis. Jeff says over easy or sunny side up. Excellent. No yolks about it. Kirby says it depends on my appetite, but I'm open to them cooked in any way. That's
okay.
pretty
They're eggs. They don't suck.
My cousin
eggs are-
they used to have eggs in a cup. I would go to his house and sleep over, and his mother would make eggs in the morning, orange juice, toast, and then a coffee mug with scrambled eggs inside of it, and like fill it up halfway, and you just sit there in a cup and eat it. I don't know if anyone's experienced that before.
Did they not have plates?
No, they had plates. They eat them, and it's like yolky in there and stuff, and they would put it back and drink it.
Oh,
it was fine. It was awkward, but it was okay.
What kind of Sound of Music shit is this? Like,
yeah. So they make runny eggs. They make runny scrambled
runny eggs, and they eat it like that, and they break it up.
That's
and
not
then
bad.
And then the yolk at the bottom, they just tip it back and suck it all up.
Yeah, but that
seems snotty.
Yeah,
it seems like that would be a little too snotty for me. I don't know.
Gotta try it, man.
I don't know. I want my egg runny or like the over medium bullshit, like the halfway in between. Like, no. And especially if it's scrambled. If I get these droopy scrambled eggs, they remind me of school scrambled eggs. And I'm just like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I like either hospital eggs, scrambled eggs, or I like the cafeteria scrambled eggs. It's something about the cafeteria, the way they do it. I'm like, I know they put
you mean
it up
cheaply 60 eggs at a time in a giant pan, you mean?
Yeah, it's great. I don't know
that
what
shit's
it is about
powdered probably, bro.
Yeah.
You like powdered scrambled eggs.
Yep. and I like the scrambled eggs that came with Great Starts. You remember Great Starts? Those breakfast microwave dinners? Or breakfast
I do
things, and I was like, oh god. So I would have a bunch of Great Starts, and I love the
terrible choice in eggs, Delaney. I'm just gonna say, for a guy who's like, oh, if I have time, I poach an egg and make eggs Benedict, and then he's all like, I like
the eggs. We were talking about eggs any kind of way.
Do you remember the
I love eggs.
You like the eggs in those damn toaster things, right? Like, have like eggs, like, oh, bro.
Yeah. I made
you can have that shit, man.
I made the V for Vendetta eggy in a blanket once. I made
egg in a basket.
Times.
Yeah. I make that. I
made that. I didn't know. I mean, it was how easy it was to make. I was like,
oh yeah, I made them this morning actually.
This is sweet.
No lie.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
really
I like that kind too.
Cool. This has been a great conversation.
It actually has.
Talking about eggs.
Panel talk.
Oh, I watched the Gordon Ramsay video on making eggs, and he would like. As he's making the scrambled eggs, he takes it off of the burner and then cooks it like that.
That's
and
how I cook my eggs now.
And then takes it back off, and it like makes it so fluffy and like runny, but not really runny, and it's just like so soft in your mouth. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. But like every time I make it, I have to watch the video as I'm doing it.
You can
I don't
put
wanna
cream
ruin
in it to elevate it. It's like to elevate
Creme de
delicious.
fraiche. I'm like, what the
Creme-
fuck
yeah.
is creme de fraiche? I can't go to the supermarket and be like, can I have a creme de fraiche? What is that? I put milk in
It's
it.
just, it's good.
Just a splash of milk.
All of it's
Yeah.
good.
A little splash of milk will do you.
It is.
Maybe
Just
a
a
little
cut.
cheese if you really want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
That's like
mom
his
makes them-
signature is like scrambled eggs, though, right?
Yeah.
Like you like
You take
like
it away
if you
from
can
the heat,
scramble an egg.
bring it
yeah.
back. And then I heard the Cambodian way is like you fold the egg over time. Like you take it off the heat and you fold it, and then you put it back on, and then you fold it again, and it makes like a layered, fluffy egg.
Ooh.
I was like, oh my god, I've tried it. It's delicious. I mean, you put cheese. I mean, you put anything you want to in them. It's scrambled
Make a
eggs.
sandwich with that, you know?
Like a sandwich with it. Oh, but it's like a perfect consistency. Like it's in between runny and fluffy, like all in between because it's layered. And it it's like butter.
Like, I'll be eating it sometimes. I'm like, did I cook this shit?
I cooked this.
I'm like, is that fully cooked? I
Yeah.
don't know. It tastes good, dude. It's a little too creamy in my mouth.
Yeah. Good times, man. You can't hardly mess them up. I get a good non-stick pan or I get my big black skillet.
I'll
And,
even eat it when it's burnt. I
coat
don't
it.
give a shit.
Yeah, I'll eat burnt eggs too.
I like eggs, man. I'll just
Yeah.
put I used to just put like every morning I had a routine. I would have oatmeal and like cocoa powder, and then I would have
that's
I would
good.
just get the cartons of egg whites and I would just put them in a bowl and put them in the fucking microwave and then sriracha the shit out of them. And that was
Oh
my
my
breakfast
God.
every day for like a year and a half, man. Pretty much. It worked though.
I
Work.
microwaved. I've actually cooked. I boiled eggs in the microwave without them exploding. You just
Yeah, you
secret.
can do that.
Well, you can do it. It's like you just don't put a regular egg in the microwave, just by itself. You
The
want to
shell?
clean that microwave? Yeah, in the shell.
Put the egg in the middle and
I can
30
cook
seconds.
it. No,
I wonder what would
Fucking
happen.
chicken come out.
you'll be cleaning that microwave.
Chicken. A fucking gremlin comes
chick-
out. Oh, deviled eggs. I can do deviled
Oh,
eggs too.
yes.
I love me some deviled eggs, man.
I'll eat them
I
all
tried
day.
it one time. I went to my girlfriend's house and her mom was like, "Do you like deviled eggs?" I'm like, "Yeah." Just try to be nice. I didn't know she was gonna bring me a plate. I'm like, "Oh shit, dude!" what
Yes,
is this? And
24
I ate it.
deviled eggs, Perry. Have at 'em.
I couldn't
Because I'll
eat it.
24.
I tried.
You don't like deviled eggs?
I did it. I think it was like
Do you live
I
in
was
the
like
South?
18. I was like 18. I moved here. I'm a transplant. You know, I'm from Jersey. Bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup. That's what I like.
Okay. I guess I'll give you that for like 2 seconds, but man, you gotta like you some deviled eggs. You in the South.
Well,
you
I
gotta,
still haven't had grits. I still never
Maybe.
ate grits before.
hey, you can pass on them. They're
Suck.
Grits are
Do they
good
really?
depending on how
They
they're cooked.
suck.
No, grits
They
are good
really suck.
depending on. It's different. It's
I watched
Yeah,
my
'cause you
cousin
can make them
Vinny,
runny.
and they always talk about grits.
Yeah, they're not nothing to write home about. Just skip it. And like the great debate is salt and pepper or sugar on your grits. I had
it
them
depends
when I
on
was
your
a kid.
mood.
It depends on how it is. I eat either way. Cheesy grits are good.
Bacon, like put some bacon
bacon,
grease on it.
yeah,
Yeah,
Is it like
bacon grease.
oatmeal?
it's kind of like an oatmeal-y type
It's
thing.
an oatmeal-ish, but it's
I
made
feel
from
like someone
hominy.
ate it,
Yeah,
It's
like
like
hominy
ate it,
is
and they're like, "Oh,
uh,
that's gritty."
you know the kernel that's inside of corn is
Yeah.
basically it's called hominy, and that's what grits are made from. So it's like
Yeah.
these little tiny pieces of
That's
milled
corny.
corn. Oh, yeah, and that's what grits are. And I used to eat them all the time as a kid, but like now I can't stand them in
The
any
thing
form.
with grits, it's the same as deviled eggs. Like maybe Perry does like deviled eggs. He just doesn't like his girlfriend's
The way they were
mom's
made.
deviled eggs.
Yeah,
like, I've
there are
had
ways
people
to
that-
make 'em.
It's like potato salad. Like I
Yep,
love potato
You can't
salad,
eat everybody.
but I don't like all potato salads because like
You can't eat
most
everybody's
people,
potato
like,
salad.
dude, I have
They'll
gone
put
to
raisins
people.
in it.
I have had some nasty ass potato salad in my fucking life. Let me tell you that because
Like potato salad, no
every
flavor, no
every
mustard.
holiday thing I go to, like there's always tons of potato salad. Everybody thinks they can make a badass potato salad, and no, like my family knew how to make badass potato salad, but other families that I've had the privilege of spending time with in the holidays,
Cancel.
And my mom makes a good potato salad, but she used to put pickles in it, and now she does
Yeah.
celery, so it's
You
not
can
as
do
good.
pickle relish.
Like, why don't you go back to pickles? Pickles are better.
You can do
Celery.
pickle relish. Pickle relish is great. You got to find a good pickle relish though, or a hot
Never had
pickle relish
pickle
too.
relish.
Oh,
Pickle relish is
isn't that
good.
just chopped up
It's
pickles?
good. Chopped
Yeah.
up pickles with seasoning and spices and other fun stuff.
It's delicious.
Sometimes it's good. You put them on hot dogs, basically. I mean, you can get a good hot dog with relish. I'm
You put
surprised, man.
anything.
You
On
live
a
in
hot
Jersey.
hamburger.
Hamburgers.
No, we used to get stoned at McDonald's, and my manager would open the pickle thing, the bucket of pickles, and we would just eat pickles out the thing.
Also,
McDonald's has some good pickles.
you got good pickles. Yeah, they do.
I
I like crinkle cut pickles. I don't like the way pickles are now, though. I don't know what it is because Wendy's does this to their pickles where they just stick them in vinegar and just like, oh, these are new pickles. I don't like that. I like the old green pickle, like the original hamburger dill chips. Those
bumps on it.
Yeah, those are the pickles, man. And it's a consistency, the way they taste, and the pickle juice. Pickle juice is the best part. I don't want to drink just vinegar. you get pickle juice, and it's vinegar, but it's green. I don't know what you're doing to make it green like that, but it's awesome. Gimme.
I love pickles, man.
Yep, pickles are good.
Yeah, man. I like
God.
pickled relish. I started watching this. I
It's
started
good.
watching this old man on YouTube. His YouTube channel is called Feature Man, right?
Mhm.
And he's like this dude. He's probably in his 80s or something, and he's done bit parts in Hollywood movies and TV shows or something, right? But he lives in Nashville, and he like literally just like compares like TV dinners and teaches you how to cook like cheap food. And like, it's like, if you watch his channel, you're like, none of this seems appealing. Right. Like, but there's something fascinating to me and like about just his channel. You should check it out. Feature Man, all one word. So weird. He's got like this video series that he does because he's done multiple ones where it's eating watermelon with my clone. And he just split screens him eating a half watermelon with him eating a half watermelon. And it's like a 15-minute video, and I'm watching every single fucking second of it, just like watching this. It's so stupid. Yeah, and anyway, so he always has a little salad, and he always has like carrot and cabbage, right? And he makes a tiny little salad, and then he uses mayonnaise and pickle relish. That's his and ketchup, and that's his salad dressing. And I'm like, that sounds gross as fuck.
That's Thousand Island dressing close to you.
Kind of, yeah, I guess, yeah. But that's I hate this kind of shit.
I like tartar sauce.
And tartar sauce. Yeah.
Mayonnaise on salad.
I mean, it's a salad dressing.
Salad dressing, ranch is mayonnaise, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got other things in it, and
It's
not
got other
just
stuff in
pickles
it.
and ketchup.
Right.
I don't
That's
know.
weird.
I just
But,
got the ketchup mayo. That's delicious.
But going back to the deviled eggs, man, yeah, you put a little pickle relish in it. My mom makes it excellent. Like I only eat hers. It's like a soft consistency of egg, and she whips it and then puts pickle relish in, a little bit of mayonnaise, the paprika, and there's something and a little bit of pickle juice. Like
Yeah,
she'll get
pickle
pickle juice and put it in. And
I like putting red
sets
onions.
it off.
I like
Red onions
finely
good.
chopped red onions in there, and sometimes fresh jalapeno.
Yeah, it's hard to find people that make good deviled eggs. Just like we were saying about potato salad, it's just weird that you can't get them like at like Publix has them, the grocery store, but like they're not the same. I don't know. They're missing a lot of stuff out of it. I'm like, I think you're just whipping these up and like mass producing these eggs. You're not putting the love.
You gotta put love into it. Yeah.
Love in them. That's the difference. So yeah. I don't know how we got on this weird food tangent, but here we are.
This is that damn egg bit that came from the panel, bro.
Oh yeah, the panel. That's right. Thanks, Brian.
Talking about eggs.
God Tank is giving us some advice here. And by the way, we weird stretched on spam like a few weeks ago or like a few months ago. Me and Jay Strick did, and like I went and bought some spam and I fucking cooked that shit up. I fucking love me some spam, bro. Okay.
Ew.
God Tank says, here's a quick sandwich that will knock your socks off. Smash up a can of spam into mush, add sweet relish and mayonnaise, and then get ready to slap your mama. What do you cook it, right? You cook it, right?
I hope you cook it.
You cook
I
it,
do that
right?
with
You don't.
tuna.
You also eat spam.
Yeah,
out of a can.
that's tuna salad. I like tuna salad. So spam salad,
Tuna.
basically.
This is
like
spam
Put
salad.
olives. You gotta put olives with the tuna though.
That sounds
Olives.
70s, man. That sounds like it should be in a Jello mold. God. Or made like hardtack. I don't know. Spam and I do not get along because I just
I
know
like
it's
fried
like
spam,
fries.
dude. Get the low sodium though. Low sodium.
I don't think I've
spam.
ever ate it.
It's
Oh,
gross.
Never
man.
had spam.
It's so fucking.
Spam,
Don't
devil-
knock it. It's got its own
devil
key.
ham, devil ham.
Potted meat. I love me some
potted
potted meat.
meat.
I love potted meat.
Never had.
I think I grew up poorer than Jelani.
Yeah, I know. I've had
I like
meat.
potted meat.
I've had potted meat. Trust me, I have potted meat and sauce.
Do you like
ever had
Vienna?
sauce,
Oh,
man?
I hate sauce. I can't
I
do
hate
that.
sauce. Sauce is gross. It's,
Do you,
it's still like popular.
Do you like Vienna sausages? Because I like the
I
hot
love.
barbecue ones.
I used to call them Vietnamese sausages. I still do.
Vietnamese sausage?
And then I put them on the skillet and I just roll them around in the heat just so they get a little bit warm, and then I eat them. I felt like I cooked something.
Okay, I got to do a quick show and tell. 2 seconds. Hold on. I've got to show you something.
He's got some Vietnamese sausages.
Okay, so I got to show you something real quick. Hold on.
I never had potted.
We should end the show right now, so when he comes back, like we're just done.
It's like, what's going on? Beanie weenies.
I like beanie weenies too. Every once in a while, I'll still get them. It's good.
Shit, dude.
It's good
All
to
right.
remember where you come from. Every once in a while, the
Yeah,
other like
it's
a
true.
few weeks ago, I got some of them canned tamales. I love the shit out of them for some
Yeah.
reason.
They're good. They're dry. I mean, they're really wet. They
Yeah.
disintegrate. But
They're not really
good.
tamales, I don't
But-
think.
All right. Short story. All right. So I've been doing since the pandemic hit. I've been driving food boxes to people at certain times of the month when we get food boxes from the government, and I give them too. But I give them out to people, and if anyone's local that needs like a food box, during this crazy time, and it's not as crazy as it was, but let me know, and I'll see if I can put you on a list. But in one of those food boxes, which they love to give out, they give canned goods, vegetables, fresh food, fresh meat. We got like a turkey breast, nice turkey breast this last time. But
Nice.
this is what comes with it sometimes. And yet, I'd never seen this before in my life, and I'm still concerned. They gave me a can called beef.
Oh, it looks like something
It's-
from Lost.
It's just
Yeah, shit. This has got
Yeah.
the Dharma Initiative logo
Dharma
on it.
Initiative.
On the side.
like I've never seen just beef in a
What do you want for
can
dinner?
before.
Beef.
And I was like, I never in my life. And you open it up, and it's beef, but it's got like
Like, is it a loaf of beef or is
It's-
it like chunked up like dog
it's like
food?
chunked up. It's like dog food. It's like shredded beef, like or ground beef, but shredded. And then
Taste
it comes-
man.
but they give you like the makings. They give you food makings to make like spaghetti and meatballs and all this stuff. So they give you like recipe kind of meals that feed families because that's what we do. But then, yeah, you can't peel this off. It's metal. It's just straight metal. I can't do anything with this. But I've opened it and I've eaten it, and it's okay. You just you have to season it. I mean, and it's nutritious. It's got nutrition facts. So like everything in the world, but it's beef in a can. It's just so
Where's
simple.
the beef?
I didn't know things were.
You found it. You answered the age-old question. Where's the
Like
beef
Russell.
in this can?
Where's the beef? It's
In the can.
Here's the beef. And like
Now I have I
don't
bought canned taco meat one time. It was like canned taco
Mm-hmm.
meat filling, and I'm like, well, that seems convenient. No, it wasn't, because that shit was nasty, bro. This shit was so nasty. It was like jelly when I took it out of there, and I was like, this seems bad.
Yep.
Then it
I don't
was.
think it should come in a can. I just don't think meat should come in a can like that. That's why I don't
What, like
staying on
chicken,
it.
like whole chicken in a
meat,
fucking
but
can.
yeah,
That's the
Tuna in a
nastiest.
can.
That is
I mess
gross.
up that all the time. Tuna.
I
in a
eat
can.
tuna in a can. That's fine.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's
And
tuna.
like-
It feels like it needs to be in
Like
the can.
chicken in a can. That's like tuna is, like shredded chicken in a can. That's fine.
Yeah,
And
it's
other
okay.
meat products canned. I get it. That's cool. Whatever. But like your
beef?
canned whole chickens or that
Chicken?
cheeseburger shit or whatever. And yeah. Oh yeah.
Are you supposed to
I forgot
drink
about that.
the water that's in the tuna can?
Most people
I
drain
think
it.
so. Yeah, you drink
Yeah,
it
I
first.
drained it, but I've always thought like,
You
what
can
if you just
put a
opened it
little
and
in
just drank
there.
it and ate it all?
Like
Why don't you try it?
tuna fish.
I mean,
You
I've
can-
opened a can of that and just like, because you have those, they make those little snack packs or whatever that comes with a can
Yeah.
of tuna and like a little bit of relish and mayonnaise or
Right.
whatever. And you gotta have mustard for tuna salad for me.
Yeah.
But and I don't drain that, I guess. I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna drink tuna juice though at all.
Drain that.
It's
crap.
just water. If it's chuck like tuna and water, it's okay. I wouldn't drink the oil.
I use the bagged ones now. You don't drain those at all. So
It's
Oh,
true.
but yeah,
I used to
usually
drain my peanut butter. Then someone told me not to.
you're supposed to stir that up.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
supposed to
I
stir
didn't
it.
know
You're
that.
supposed
I
to
used to
get in
open
there.
it and be like, oh, and just pour it out the top.
That's why you shake up mustard, man, so you don't get mustard water.
Oh, I hate
You
mustard
don't want
water.
You hate mustard
Oh,
water.
Sog up your
ketchup
bread.
butter.
Yeah, ruins everything. I'm like, oh, I forgot to shake it. Crap. I hate when I go to picnics and I'm the first one to use it, and I mess up and get the hot dog water. Oh yeah, and I'm the one that's opening it for the first time and don't think of anything. I'm just like, it's open now. Put the top on, mustard water. We're done. Cancel the picnic. But it
Cancel
happened.
the picnic.
Yep, we're done.
I instinctively shake the bottle if like any kind of condiment comes in the bottle. Like I'll immediately shake it before trying it.
That's pretty smart. I don't
Yeah,
do
it's a
that.
smart thing to do.
I'm just like condiments. That's the end. I forgot what else gives you like water.
How
like
much
that.
of your
You know,
food gets like ketchup? You know, like how
Ketchup.
much of your food gets ruined like that? Imagine Jelaine just got ketchup and mustard water on his fucking hot dog.
It's
It's like
ruined.
this elaborate gourmet meal set up. He's like, all it needs now is some ketchup.
His peanut butter separated. He just puts the oil on it.
Yeah. Yep. That's how it's done.
His vinaigrettes. He's like, this just feels weak and wrong. Like something's wrong with it. You got to shake shit up, Jelani.
I'm aware of that, man.
You gotta shake it
Now,
up.
when it's all at the bottom, if I can see it in a clear thing, I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. I need to shake that. You know, that's when I see it.
You've never
And
had a
you
good glass of orange juice ever in your life, have you?
Mm-mm. It's all been runny.
Extra pulp.
Just, I hate chewing orange juice. That's the worst.
You don't like the pulp? I like the
I
pulp.
cannot
I like to
stand
have.
it.
I like to
You're
play with
Florida
something in my
too?
mouth as I'm drinking it.
I like
That's
the pulp
fine.
as well, man.
I feel like that's
I
where the
like that.
vitamins are. you know?
That is where the vitamins are. Otherwise, it's all sugar.
I want all the sugar.
with a little orange.
I like simply orange, no pulp. And I'll drink that shit for days. It's just like sweet water. Sweet water.
I love orange juice, man.
Orange juice.
But I don't
So-
drink it like I used to.
Me neither.
Need to. It's the great dose of vitamin C. Yay.
And some of them come with calcium in it now.
This beef might have vitamin C in it. No, it's got sugars. Really?
So when you ate your canned beef, how did you prepare it?
I did it with spaghetti and meat sauce. They give you all of the fixings, and I wanted to try like one of the meals that came with it. So I made spaghetti and meat sauce, and I took it out of the can and I cooked the meat. It has this big giant fat.
Is it already cooked or is it?
It's already cooked meat.
Okay.
You can eat it like it's you know.
You can eat it out of a can.
You can eat it out of the can if you want to,
You just
but I
open
wouldn't
it and just
suggest
go to
it.
town.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest it.
Let's
though,
see
'cause
that, Jelani. Let's see that.
Wanna
I'd like
open
to
it?
see that right now.
No, that would come in handy if you were on a road trip and you were in a car where you pushed in those lighters and it would pop out, and then you could light the bottom of it to warm up the meat, and then you could just open it and go to town on the meat. Like that. That's great for camping.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Apocalypse bunker.
I would open it, but it's
yeah.
a lot of work, and I don't have like storage containers to keep this meat like together. I want to like keep this in the can, so like
When
when I
does it
want it
expire?
again. Let me see. Doesn't say. Oh my god, it doesn't say.
That don't
It'll last
seem right.
forever.
It can probably last forever. Yeah.
It's a legit Dharma
Beef.
Initiative prototype.
Ingredients are beef and salt. It's like
Oh,
okay.
salt your beef, you know?
So
Yeah, I mean, it's a
it's
preservative,
fully
right? So-
cooked. Okay, it says
Yeah.
this beef is fully cooked in its own juices and is ready to use. Use cut up beef for salads, sandwiches, soups, stews, barbecue, spaghetti sauce, meat pies, casseroles, tacos, or over egg noodles. I mean, it basically is. It's just like little meatballs, and it's got fat. It's like a fat ring at the top. God dang it! Hold on.
This motherfucker's gonna open up this can of
I
beef.
can't believe I'm open canned beef. All right, this is my show and tell.
Got
I'll
you.
be
I
back.
said prove it.
I'm gonna do it, son.
Well, if you're just showing up, I bet you're dazed and confused. But right now, we're about to have an uncanning of some canned beef from Jelani. That's a.
We're about to see what his meat tastes like.
I just can't imagine this look. He's like, so is he just little balls of meat? Like it's almost like, like the meatballs that are in SpaghettiOs or canned spaghetti or something.
Yeah, the
right?
tiny little ones.
Yeah.
Is it just a bunch of those?
Almost.
Is it just a bunch of those? Huh. What if he opens it and it's just a hunk of red meat? Just like,
Oh man.
You just have to slice it with a knife.
this is fun.
Have you seen the new Falcon Winter Soldier yet?
No, I haven't watched last week's yet either.
Me neither.
Dude, he's good, bro.
This was the penultimate one, right? Episode 5? Because there's only 6.
Who the fuck brags
Really?
about their
Only
kids?
6? I thought it was going to be 8.
Okay, I'm back.
Imagine taking someone out on a date for a picnic. You just pull out some canned meat. You want a steak, baby?
Okay, so
That is hilarious.
I had to get a good pan. So I had to get a clear pan. So
Oh,
you
nice.
can see
Let's we're gonna
Oh, make
solo
'em big,
layout.
yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
Let's see this.
So all right, this is it open. I can't really show it. I don't know without spilling it because there's still a lot of juice in here.
Oh my god!
So
Look at
I'll
those juices.
just look at it. Oh god, there you go.
Oh,
So it's a lot of juice. It's a lot of juice.
Oh wow!
And then let me pull back. I'm trying to do this right in the camera. Okay, there you go.
Oh,
And then it's like a big hunk of beef, and I told you there's like a ring of fat that's around the top.
bro, that's
of it.
dog food.
It's basically dog food, and I forgot to get a fork. Hold on 2 seconds. Let me grab a fork.
That's the good thing. Bro, no cap though. I would try it. I want to see. Maybe it slaps. Maybe it does. Maybe it's good.
Now,
gross.
Now, just to let you know. Hold on. Ugh.
We're about to see the whole can of beef.
Like take one bite like a sin to heaven.
Yeah. But yeah.
Is that a noodle up there?
No.
Do you want to warm it up? I feel bad. It's cold.
No. It is cold. And I'm not eating this. No one's eating this.
Oh, take a bite of it, man. Come on.
Hell no. Absolutely hell no not.
Bro, I'd do it.
You can.
Do it not.
But I'm showing you the consistency of
Prove it.
Proof what? That I
It's
can
just like it looks like ground beef.
It's
Prove it
ground
edible.
beef, but it's like shredded. It's kind of like it doesn't have the same like weird consistency of it. I'll taste a little bit of it, but like,
Did you see it drip?
it's dripping. It's not bad. Not terrible. It's beef, but
This
you can.
motherfucker just came up here and opened up some canned beef and just eating this shit cold with like coagulated fucking fat on it and
Fat
shit.
on it.
I
So
like
what you
after
can
the
do-
first bite. After the first bite, your whole body language is like, that shit ain't bad.
It's not bad. Like, it's beef and it's cooked, and you can season it however you wish. And
What
like,
does it need? What does it need? Salt, pepper?
It needs
Little
more
cayenne?
salt. Yeah, it needs
Some
it
paprika,
actually- paprika.
some chili powder, some cumin, maybe.
I've got a lot of stuff in here. I've
Oregano.
got this Montreal. I've got this on
I see a
Montreal.
PCP
Not
cookbook
oregano.
coming soon.
You get some Dijon mustard on there.
We
But,
have to get
like-
your help, Perry. We'll give you a chapter.
But it's not bad.
We should actually do a YouTube. Like a few of us should get together and do like comics
Yeah.
YouTube cookbook. And Bueller
That'd
can
be
give us
good.
his
I wanna
recipe
do
for
the
cold
crazy
brew
Ninja
coffee.
Turtle
And
pizza thing.
yeah, we do need to do the turtle pizza thing.
But yeah, it's not bad. It's not terrible. And
Well,
it's
That's
edible.
interesting.
I had no idea that it existed. Oh wait! Oh shit!
Is it coming
opened
alive?
the can. I opened the can. I dropped the can again, and that fat ring showed up. And I was like,
Oh.
"Oh, it's a lot of fat.
Oh, it's so
gross.
thick too.
That's so
Yeah.
nasty.
It's really thick."
At least you could just pull. Yeah,
Oh,
take a
don't
bite of
bite
that. Are you
that.
gonna take a bite of that?
Hell no! Hell no!
Oh man,
Oh,
come on.
man.
What's wrong
Even
with
if
that?
you said prove it, I'd be like, "Hell no!"
Bobby's got a good point. He goes, "It will keep you alive
Yeah.
one more day."
One more day.
And
It
Fable
keeps you
said-
there.
There's no bright side to that.
It's
All
good.
right,
I
well,
made spaghetti
I
last night.
appreciate the weird stretch. We've gone for about 30 minutes now talking about eggs and
You ever
doing
get
an
duck in a
uncanny.
can?
So
No.
get what?
No,
Mm.
duck in a can.
Like
'Cause
a
I
whole
like
duck?
duck. I
Like a
like
whole-
eating duck.
I like duck. I like crispy duck.
I've only had duck
Yeah.
like one time, and I don't really remember it. So
It was
I've
good.
had ducks. I've had duck a few times. I love it. And
it comes
our
in a
old
can,
Stone Cafe,
Perry.
like a whole
I don't know.
can.
I went to this restaurant that got shut down. Yeah, they served duck there. Dude. They used to have the lights really low so you wouldn't see any roaches.
You may not have even actually had duck then.
It might have been like a dog or something. Who knows?
Oh,
That
who
place
knows?
was really sketchy, man.
Isn't there's this like, because I watched Hell's Kitchen, right? Which I'm actually a couple episodes behind, but there's some kind of fucking shit that's like some kind of fancy shit that's like duck fat is like foie gras or something like that. Like,
Guau guau.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like this is like, whoa, ugh, that sounds so gross, man. Like
But
when they
it's
talk about,
good.
oh, it sounds so gross.
It's really
Oh
good.
man, I've tried fancy stuff, and that's one of the fanciest.
I want to try lamb. They
Yeah.
always cook lamb on those
You ever
on the
had,
Gordon Ramsay shows. They're always making
Caviar?
a rack of lamb.
I've had caviar.
Caviar.
I've had
Oh,
caviar.
You have to do like caviar is acquired. You
Yeah,
gotta.
caviar is like way too like sea
Like-
salty for me.
I tried actual
fishy, I
beluga
guess.
caviar like a few years ago. God, well, I think I was maybe in college, and we tried beluga caviar. It's like $500 an ounce or something, some crap like that. Nuts amount because it comes from like this special place in France or whatever, and it's just these eggs, but it's kind of tart. Like it's kind of off-putting at first, but you got to keep eating it, and it does. I don't know. It gets better. It's like oysters for some reason for me, because I didn't like oysters when I was a kid.
I didn't like oysters.
I don't like oysters.
Yeah.
oddly
I like
enough.
mussels.
It reminds me.
I
yeah,
love
mussels are good. Yeah,
Mussels are good.
it reminds me of that, but not that consistent. It's also crunchy, and you put it on like, a cracker, or just some.
Yeah, my
kind
parents
of
used to
bread.
make hors d'oeuvres that were just like a cracker, a saltine with
Yeah.
oyster on it, and then like some cheese whiz on
Some
top.
cheese whiz. Oh,
Cheese
that's
whiz.
fancy.
Imagine spending $500
that.
on a food just to put it on a fucking dollar store salty.
Yeah.
When we did the Bond cast in the SOE days, we had
Yeah,
caviar.
that's that.
I just remember it tasting like salt. That's what I remember.
Yeah, it is salty. It can be very salty. But
Love
you,
these.
like I said, you just pair it with the right stuff, and it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
Just,
and I've had like fish eggs like on sushi and shit, but it's not the same.
It's
at
not the
all.
same.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
At all.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even
The
close.
orange ones on the sushi I've had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like those
Little
little
orange
ones.
balls,
They're
yeah.
fine. Those are fine.
Yeah.
And somebody pointed out that 62 said fish eggs is just spooge. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm eating biscuit.
That's why it's salty, because
Yeah.
What?
that makes sense
Oh!
now. That makes perfect sense.
Oh!
I thought it had something to do with the ocean, Perry, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe that's
It's
why.
fertilizer.
Oh God.
Good times, man. It's eggs.
Excite yourself. Put canned oysters in your cornbread stuffing for Thanksgiving, and don't tell anyone. Euphoric.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd
That's-
eat canned
That
oysters.
sounds like
The
yeah,
oysters I eat
they're
are
pretty
fresh.
nasty.
I eat
Yeah.
them with Tabasco and
Pretty
lemon.
nasty.
That's what I do. Tabasco and lemon.
I've had the canned oysters and never again.
I've
It's
seen
not
them.
the same. They're not.
Do you
the
remember
same.
that day that we were all making so there was this big, I'm glad we don't have to deal with this shit that much, but anymore at all. But like there was this big weed drought for a while back in our 20s.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Mm.
Right. So we finally got this sack of like just powder, just swag powder, Perry. But we were so fucking excited, right? So excited. So we all get together and we're like, we're going to make chili cheese dogs tonight, all together, right? Have a food night, smoke some blunts, and just have a good time, right? It had been like weeks since we had gotten anything. So
It's so hard.
who was it? Me and Gillespie, or was anybody else involved? We did this to you, didn't we, Jelani? We put
Yeah.
anchovy paste in Jelani's chili cheese dog, and like we were like weird stretching on him, be like, Jelani, don't worry, I'll make your chili dog for you. He's like, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, but yeah.
And we put
That was
anchovy paste in his fucking chili dog, and he got halfway through it before he realized it. I remember that. You remember that? Wasn't that a good
That was
time,
pretty
Jelani?
nasty. No, it wasn't. You remember that time I hid your wings?
Yeah. Do you remember that, Brooks? Though when we put the anchovy paste in his hot
Yeah.
dog.
I remember. God, that was nasty.
That was good
Maybe it
time.
was
But
always
you
the
couldn't
mark
tell because
back
I
in
was
the day.
hungry and high. You eat anything when you're hungry and high. You just do. It just happens. But it's life.
He was just eating. I remember, and everybody was just kind of like chuckling and paying too much of attention to him. And he was like, "What's wrong?" And then he was like, what's wrong with this?" And then he looked, and yeah. Anyway, fun times. All right, it's show and tell time. Jelani's already started with a little bit of show and tell already with the canned beef. So thank you, Jelani. Everybody give a mad station
Do what I can.
for that. So we'll come back to you. Brooks, show and tell. Show us what you've got.
Oh boy, I got a bunch of stuff. Well, I got this from the expo. This is a little plush meow. It's like it's the purple, so I think it's like the Aloha Meowth or something. I'm not too well versed in the Pokemons after Red and Blue. I do know a little bit because of Pokemon Go. Also, I picked up these 2 amiibos pretty recently. It's
I like that Super Mario World Bowser, man.
Yeah, it's Bowser Jr. and
Oh yeah,
Cat
it is.
Peach.
Is that the one you got at GameStop
Yeah.
with us? Yeah.
Yeah. I picked up a pretty interesting book this week.
Nice.
Volume 2.
Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be here in less than a month, May 13th, Dan Waters on Pop Culture Philosophers.
And I went to the other day at Walmart. I found these. They put out these vintage art series movies on DVD.
Nice.
I love The Jerk.
The Jerk.
That's me and my sister's favorite movie. Like together.
This, which I'd never seen before.
Nice.
Good to Birds is awesome.
And yeah, this one.
Nice. The original.
Wait, is this the American version? Does it have
Movies.
both versions? Because you know in Japan you've got one, but in
It's just a
America.
rumor. But and I picked this up today. This is Castlevania Season 3.
I love that show.
This is like the best season so far because it's fucking nuts.
Yeah, they got rid of Dracula. Spoiler.
That is all to show and all to tell.
Nice. Like that. Next up, Perry, show and tell. Show us what you got.
Well, I just got my I got a new camera in.
Ooh.
Nice.
This is my purchase of the week. So
Very nice.
I'm very
You win.
happy to buy this. I'm waiting for the lens to come in. So, but yeah, that's all I purchased last week.
That's
Nice.
freaking sweet, dude.
I think that's
yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
I can't wait to use it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I hope we're going to get some good footage, man, of you reacting to movies.
Yeah.
Well, no, that camera's for different filming purposes.
I'm just messing with you. All right. Jelani, show and tell.
I got a lot.
Unless the canned beef was it.
Oh no, gosh, no! It's still sitting here.
Are you showing us some expo gets as well?
It'd be hard to top that, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
we should have thought ahead and saved that
Did
canned beef for
that.
last.
Yeah. Well, we got into a rich, stretched, tangent conversation. That's awesome. Thanks, Brian, again. I will start off with our first one, and that's this is I got at the expo.
You got that from Titus?
Yeah,
I thought about getting that.
I was
bro.
gonna get it, and I was like, yeah, I should have got the whole set, but I just want to get Spawn. It's worth it. He's worth it. I'm not taking it out of the box for some reason, even though the box looks terrible. But I'm gonna keep it in the box because I really think I'm gonna lose all the parts for that. And then the next thing I got at the con was this bad boy, Daniel LaRusso.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's a freaking figure, you are.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
I love this thing. I love it so. Thanks to let's see, Jay Strick. He's the one that found the vendor that had this. Because he bought the Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah, he got the Johnny.
He got the Johnny, but I want this because Miyagi.
You guys can fight each other now.
That's
He got
right.
both of them, so he doesn't need
Yeah.
Jelani to play.
Oh, still mean. I'm gonna cry now. And then from the Mandalorian, I randomly got this bad boy.
Cool.
IG-11, and this is the painted one, but I got it for like $8 because the box was damaged. I was like, yes, free stuff. So his arms are stretched out like this. I'm gonna get a bag so I can put the child in it. And then next, I got Ming the Merciless.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna eventually
Who's
get
that?
Flash, but he is from Defenders of the Earth. Well, actually, he's an old time comic book villain with Flash Gordon. He's the foe to Fat Flash Gordon. Eventually, I'm going to get the rest, but I have Phantom already. I got to get a horse for him, and he's going to be awesome after that. Then I got. I don't want to show that off. I won't show that off either. I'll show this off. I got this from the con as well.
Nice.
He is amazing, and I'm not going to open him because he's cost me some money, and I'm mad.
Yeah, I know where you bought that from. I thought about it, but I was like, no, I'll just wait until ours eventually come in.
This guy, the guy that had him, is from Maryland. Yeah.
How come I have not seen a single one of those fucking things?
Well, this is the only one that this guy had it. He was from Maryland, and he got it from like a random Target in DC. So
they're not widely distributed yet.
They're not yet. But they had this and apparently Ram Man. But he didn't. He either missed the Ram Man or something else happened. But if after this, I think I'll have him and then Ram Man, and I will have all of the original or this line of the Masters of the Universe set.
Yeah, I want to get that one as a placeholder because the original Clam Champ's so hard, so expensive.
Yeah, he is very expensive. But I also got this bad boy.
Nice.
And this is the flocked Panther with realistic fur. The other one was just plastic that came out for Target. And I not only got one, I got two.
That's awesome.
So I'm really excited that I found these. Like, I have good friends that help me find stuff, and they found these for me at the Walmarts. So I'm very appreciative for that. And then finally, I got this bad boy, and this is the Soundwave from that War for Cybertron.
Nice.
Wave. I like him a lot. He comes with Ravage, who's the tape deck that's in here already. And then I have the Laserbeak, of course.
Super cool.
He turns into the tape deck, so I really like the tape deck.
Yeah, I haven't opened mine yet, man. It's so cool to see. Yeah,
I really like it out. And I've transformed them both ways. And I'm like, I love them both ways. And I have the other Starscream. The other Soundwave, but he's a ship, and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
But this is worth it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's my show and tell.
All right. I also have brought some stuff that I purchased at the expo. So it's always good to go toy hunt at the expo.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a thing so I could have a thing on card for the Fantastic Four line. I have always loved this figure. It's actually got a really good sculpt for a 90s figure. So that was a very nice thing figure. Let's see. Got the Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger Savage World figure. So they're like the horror icons. I already have Pinhead and Michael Myers. Michael is up in Grayskull right now. They go along with the Motu stuff, and they're the horror icons. So I needed a Freddy. Now I got a Freddy. And I got a Jason.
Nice.
And so now all I need is Leatherface. And the only Leatherface at the show Strickland got. But it's okay because he doesn't have a Michael. And I do.
They used to be everywhere. That's the worst part. They're everywhere.
Yeah, right?
I got to find them.
It was the last day at the con, and I was like, I haven't bought a single Motu figure yet. So I went ahead and snatched up a Prince Adam.
He looked nice.
I needed a Prince Adam, so I got that.
And I got a Roboto. I forgot from that same place.
I got this Deadpool from the Spider-Man Toy Biz line.
It's not Deadpool, dude.
Oh, did I say Deadpool? It's Daredevil.
Yeah.
It's not Deadpool.
Got a Tusk from
cool.
the Dark Riders.
Like a little dude or something.
Yeah, he's in his back. He's in his back. Ugh. He's in there. See, he's kind of stuck, but whatever. Oh, God damn it.
I'm abusing my power.
There it is. So little dude, right? That's cool. Also got the Maverick figure that I was just talking about a few weeks ago on the weekly comic book review. I finally got it. Oh, super cool.
He shoots people with his gun.
I did get that Mutations Bebop, but it's in the other studio. But there's the card that came with it. So I do have that. What else? I got a Fugitoid. And I got his guns and everything. That's from Turtles, for those that don't know. I got a Toka.
Nice. I had that Toka.
So now I just need to get the Razor. Let's see. Got this badass Terminator figure. Y'all ready for this? I'm going to wait because that's like one of my favorites.
Are you ready for this?
My girlfriend Jamie. My girlfriend Jamie got me this Dark Side figure.
Snap.
Yeah, man. I was going to buy that.
Hell yeah.
It
So
was
that's
so cool.
awesome. Mike Weird stretched and got me some cool custom-made Legos. Lego Men. There's a Pinhead. That's cool. There's a Michael Myers.
Oh, snap.
Nice.
Little Lego dude. What else I got? Yep. Gizmo.
Oh, that's cute.
That's great.
I didn't even see
Stripe.
that. He looks good.
And a Sam from Trick or Treat.
Oh, I love that.
Sammy!
He's got his
I
little,
have the
little cute
lollipop.
lollipop.
little
Yeah.
lollipop. I got the
And-
Sam Necker one.
Spawn.
Whoa.
Down.
A little Spawn Lego dude. And then I got No Zone from Toxic Crusaders. And Bonehead from Toxic Crusaders. They glow in the dark. It was
Yeah.
super cool. There was a major disaster there, but somebody snatched it before I got it. So this Terminator, though, one of the cheapest toys I got, but I love it. Y'all ready for this? Watch this.
Dun, 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 dun.
Here we go.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Holy crap.
Oh, man. Anyway, that's what I got. So
Nice.
show and tell complete, and there is the beautiful DVD Dazed and Confused Criterion. Looks like a notebook
Yep.
with stuff
At
scribbled
first,
all
I
over.
thought it was a whiteboard, and I thought you had written Dazed and Confused, and like I thought you made that.
Oh man, I wish. Anyway, we're about to dip out because I got to go find the missiles, which is actually the shoulder pad, but that's just so freaking cool.
It is.
That
cool.
is neat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. I think I got a near full run. I got to figure out what I'm missing. It's going to be the weirdest stretch when I'm like, I got my Terminator 2 action figure line complete, y'all. That's just how we do. Anyway, we're dipping out. So final thoughts, Jelani.
Man, just keep on living, man. Livin.
Yeah, you know it. Perry, final thoughts?
I'm gonna order some canned beef to see what it tastes like. That's that's what I
You should, man.
learned today.
I'll send you this stuff now.
That sounds
Oh,
like
yeah.
a great video, dude. Like I'd make it like first time trying canned beef.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Go
You know,
for
like
it,
that'd be
man.
a great. Yeah,
It could be
I'm
a
gonna
whole
try
new direction for your channel, bro.
That's right, man.
Just
Just
eating
eat
food.
crazy food.
Like next year, like now I just have to eat a bunch of shit all the time.
Yeah. People give you suggestions.
It could work, man. It could
Rocky,
work.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountain oysters. No bull testicles.
Pass. I don't eat the manhood.
No. I heard it tastes good.
Well, that's just the hearing because I ain't doing it. Good times.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing the bit. Where he
Brooks.
freezes.
Final thoughts?
You got to do what Randall Pink Floyd wants to do.
Yeah. You know, it's the same shit they tried to push back in my day, Brooks.
Yeah.
Let me tell you one thing. Older you get, the more rules
More
they're
rules
going
they're
to
gonna
try.
try to get you to follow.